happening? Oh God, no, it's happening! What are we gonna do? Somebody save us! It's time for Jack's Junkyard! Jack's Junkyard. I am Jack Kiesling, your host for today. I'm also the author of The Fists of Arken and the very, very soon to make its world premiere, A Thin Red Line. Welcome to the show. We have a ton of new stuff on the list for today. We're going to have an absolute blast. We're going to try out some new things, so hopefully they all work well. Today, the show is going to feature, of course, our regular segments. We'll talk a little bit about, A Thin Red Line and what's going on with that. We'll talk about my next projects. We'll have our typical Ask Me Anything segments. But in addition to all of that, we are also going to be featuring the first time a full-fledged interview that I conducted with someone. This week's interview features Louis Gould, who is the founder and president of the Fresh Boys Club. We are also going to feature, and I'm very excited for this, our very first talent segment of the show. So it's going to be just a kick-ass show from start to finish. I'm super glad you guys are all here. Share the video around, hit that heart button as many times as you can. The more support we get for the show, the better stuff I can do. And it's just kind of fun. So man, give me them hearts, right? All right. Got a number of you on the show already. Welcome all of you. Chris, I see you in there. I know. I do want to apologize for the show being delayed by half an hour today. I was making final details for the talent section of the show and all that stuff. So yeah, fun stuff. Okay. I'm also very excited. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you. Yes, I can play golf. Not very well, but I do play golf. What's up, Brent? Welcome to the show. All right. Well, what do you say we talk about some books? So as I said, A Thin Red Line is about to make its world premiere. That's really, really cool. It's published, it's done, it's set, it's finished. However, some of you have already been asking, well, how can I get a copy? Half an hour plus. Well, I ain't gonna be semantics. Okay, semantics. Anyway, how can I get a copy? Well, I'm about to show you. So if you go to Amazon, right, and you search Jack Kiesling, you will eventually come to a screen that looks like this, that will show you all of the books that I have available on Amazon. Now, what you see on top are the ebooks, right? So those are available for Kindle download. You do not need a Kindle device to purchase a digital edition of one of my books. You simply download the free Kindle app onto your phone, tablet, whatever device you want to use, and the ebook will be downloaded into the app. Really, really cool. Okay, one-time fee. It's not a subscription or anything like that. So both my books, as you can see on screen, are available for $3 in digital edition. Okay, The Fist of Arken has been available since September 1st, 2019. A Thin Red Line, you will notice if you purchase it, you do not get it right now, right? And it even says on there pre-release. That is because the Kindle edition does not release until July 26th or midnight on the 25th. Okay, it won't release until the printed copy makes its world premiere at VetFest 2020, which is a week from today. All right, so if you purchase it on pre-order at midnight on the 25th going into the 26th, it'll automatically populate into your app. No further effort on your part needed other than to read. Yeah, super fun. Let's see. Yep, $3 make you holler. When is the interview with TCF? I don't currently have an interview scheduled with TCF, but we can talk about that in a bit. Okay, you will also notice the printed copies are available on here as well. The Fists of Arken, again, available since September 1st, 2019 when it published, $12. Currently, A Thin Red Line, $250. Don't buy it at $250, guys. Don't do it. That is just the way that I'm making it sort of unavailable for everyone until the world premiere at VetFest. So it will go down to $12 after that. All right. So please get on Amazon, buy the book, like the book, do all the things, and help me spread the word on this thing. A Thin Red Line is a phenomenal novel. I'm very, very excited to share that with you guys. I'm very excited for you guys to read it and to meet the characters in it. It's going to be so cool. I'm also really excited to get to work on the next books in the series. Would be A Thin Blue Line and A Thin Black Line, but those will come after The Tears of Arken, which will come next. Yeah, $250, Pamela, absolutely. By the way, your husband said he was going to buy it at $250 just so he could be the first one to have a copy, so you might need to have a discussion with him about his Amazon spending. I have my Kindle app all ready to receive the book. Awesome. You did not buy it at $250, and if you want a lap dance, you're going to have to talk to somebody else because I'm not at that line of work. All right. I'm an artist. Okay. All right. Well, I'm very excited to present the next segment of the show. I was able to sit down and conduct an interview with a phenomenal human being, an incredible man, and a very inspiring person to talk to. His name is Lewis Gould, and he is the founder and president of the Fresh Boys Club here in Virginia. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey everyone, my name is Lewis Gould, but my students call me Mr. G, or if you really know me, people just call me G. I am the president and founder of Fresh Boys Club. I am also a Prince Edward County Middle School sixth grade teacher, and I am, like I said, I'm also a activist for the youth.
All right. So you said you're a sixth grade teacher. I got to ask, G, if that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sixth grade. I remember being a sixth grader, and sixth graders are hellions, man. What?
Yeah.
Why are you teaching sixth grade?
Oh man, sixth grade is actually the best grade, man. That's the age where they're fighting between trying to break from being a kid and trying to merge into being quote unquote a teenager. So best grade by far, man. Of course, they are definitely a lot to handle, but once you gain their respect and they know that you're there for them and that you care about them, man, they'll do anything for you, anything.
That's awesome. So I would say you probably have to have a pretty big heart for youth and for, development of people to be successful in that grade.
Yeah.
So was that your passion? You went to college and you're like, I'm going to be a sixth grade teacher. That was the goal?
Negative. I was at Virginia State University. I was there for 2.5 years, and I had to withdraw for financial reasons. And when I came back home, I was kind of in a between a rock and a hard place because Fresh Boys Club started in 2008, and I was doing so good, graduated, and I was the first one to go to college. And it was like, when I came back home, it was like, wow, I'm back home. I'm not doing nothing, didn't have a job or anything. So it was kind of I wouldn't say a dark place, but it was kind of a rough place to be in at that time for like a year and a half. I was able to access 2 jobs. I worked at Walmart and Sheets after I got back down here. And in that meantime, I wanted to fund myself to go back to school. And I was like, I need to go back to school for something that I really want to do. And I was like, hold on, I already got Fresh Boys Club. I like working with kids. So I'm gonna go, and be a teacher. So that's where, that came from, because at first I wanted to be in business. My mom is a mortgage consultant for SunTrust. So, I always see her dress up with papers and stuff. Like, I want to do that, but like I tell the kids all the time, man, don't go for what you want to do in your heart. Don't, look at somebody else's life and be like, hey, I want to do that because they look cool doing it. They look cool doing it because they enjoy doing it, So always, if you're going to pick your passion, pick something that you truly want to do. And what I truly wanted to do was work with kids, and the best way for me to access that feeling was to be a teacher.
Where did Fresh Boys Club come from? Why did you start that? How did that whole process go?
Well, it was the summer of 2008, which was going into my senior year. Me and my one of my bros, Julian G, who is a graduate from Virginia Union. We basically making people laugh, stuff like that, doing your work and stuff. So me and Julian was on the phone one day, and I was like, hey man, I think, it's our senior year. Let's go out with a bang. Let's start a group. And it was like, what the group's going to be called. And, we went through, I don't know the names, what we went through. We went through a couple of names, but I think we settled on Fresh Boys Club. At one point, I had the whole senior class being Fresh Boys Club, everybody had FBC book bags and everything like that. So at first, when we first started, strictly was entertainment purposes. Especially when I went to Virginia State and seeing the different social groups and organizations having fun doing things. I'm like, yo, we have a group already. Why can't we just take that, blueprint and just add it to FBC? So that's what we did. We took the blueprint of volunteering, community service, and added that to what we already was doing, having fun. But we just now was having fun doing community service and uplifting our community together.
Yeah. We live in a town that has some pretty serious history, right? We think about the Moton School and some of the anti-segregation things that happened in this area and in this county. Any pushback with Fresh Boys Club in this particular community?
Well, of course, when we first started the Fresh Boys Club, people was like, "What in the world are you guys doing?" You know, of course, you know, there was a lot of pushback. At one point in time, they didn't allow our boys to even wear their hoodies because they called us a gang. At one point in time, Ooh was right. They were stereotyping them because they were young. You know, at that time, we only had young black members who had black hoodies on and had Fresh Boys Club on it. Like, because, you know, you gotta understand, the group didn't have nothing to stand on at that time, but, you know, but just us, you know, you just can't show up and say, "Hey, this is me." You know, you got to show them who you are, you know, and once they figure out who you are, that's when the perception starts to change. I hate to say it, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's the life we live in, you know. You got to show them who you are. And once we, you know, it took years, I'm talking about 4 years probably, for us to be like, for them to say, "Oh, wow, you know, that's Fresh Boys Club. They are actually pretty good."
What have you seen in the development of the young men who are in your club?
In the FBC, man, one of our main things, don't get me wrong, we have a lot of fun, but the boys can tell you, structure is very, very key. That's to anything. Like, when they're with me, they know when they get up in the morning, man, you know, clean everything. I don't want to see no game on until everything's clean. You know, teeth brush, face, you know, just structure things. So, I mean, you know, just little things, you know, structure, you know, the way they carry themselves, the you know, the things that they say, the sayings that they say, or the habits that they pick up. You can see it throughout each member. And, you know, even our older members, one of our older members from when we first started, said that I was the first one who introduced them to, you know, working.
If I was to ask you, what is your fondest hope? What do you want to see happen with FBC, you know, long term?
My main goal, man, especially, I guess because I'm from Prince Edward, I want FBC to grow larger in Prince Edward, but also start, you know, going to different places in Virginia first, because I really want us to spread our mission throughout Virginia, and even start collaborating with some, because I know it's some Northern Virginia groups such as what we do, just start collaborating and get more of an effort to definitely pushing our youth to being, like you said, leaders, man, and just being accountable. I don't think they truly love themselves. You know what I'm saying? Truly love them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? See, now, I mean, everybody like themselves, but truly love yourself. Like me, I truly love myself. As in, like, nobody can say something to make me stop loving me. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing. I don't think you know, I've been working with them, trying to grasp that fact, guys. You gotta love yourself. You know, love yourself. Like, no, like you need to get that mental to the point where nothing nobody can say, not even me, can disturb you. You know, you know what I mean? Once you start, like, being in love with yourself, everything else will be so much easier. I'm telling you.
Yeah, well, I mean, and so many, you know, wise people over the years have said you can't love anyone or anything else if you don't learn to love yourself first. And I mean, that's probably one of the truest wisdoms that's ever been spoken.
And I mean, love everything about yourself. Love your, you know, love everything about yourself. Trying to get them to get that mental and that mindset of taking care of themselves, loving themselves, and just being, you know, just making sure that they are putting positive energy into themselves. You know, so, like, you know, just little things like that, man, is what I told them. Just love yourself, work on yourself, appreciate you, man. You are important. Everybody has their own unique thing. So be you. You know,
that is such a great message. If you were going to give one short message to all the youth out there, and to literally anybody who is needing some inspiration, what would you have to say?
Basically, man, keep pushing. Like I said, I'm the kid that, you know, when I withdrew from school and didn't think I could ever get back into school, and we're here today. July 17th. We're here July 17th, man, in 2020, and now I have a bachelor's degree. I'm starting my second year at Prince Edward. I'm also about to get on. I can't say right now, but I'm about to hopefully get on a couple of councils and committees, and just never could imagine being in this spot in life. So definitely keep pushing, no matter how low things are right now, no matter what condition your life is in right now. Make that step forward to want more. Because if you want more, you're going to get more.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Lewis Gould, the founder and president of the Fresh Boys Club in Virginia. An incredible human being. There is more to the interview. Look out on Jack Kiesling Books for a longer, unedited version of the interview in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the event of a lifetime. Welcome to Disgruntled Vet Fest 2020! Featuring live music from Something Like Yesterday, the Becker Band, Big Poppy and the Trash Can, featuring headliner Sailor Jerry. This year's event brought to you by Disgruntled Vets, Veteran Playground, Sunshine Studios Live, Embrace the Service, Token Civilian Friends, 22 Until None, The DV Farm, Dysfunctional Veterans, Unconventional Vet Spouse, Vet Catch, The Veterans Forum, Jack Kiesling Books, Arken Forge Publishing, and Handmade by Brandon. This is going to be the party of the century. Don't miss out on this once-in-a-life opportunity to be a part of something special, something big, something huge. If you don't show up, you're a dirty pinecone.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The News.
Good evening, America. Tonight in the news, some wonderful stories to enlighten your world. This week in good news. Findings from a recent United Nations report state that the number of undernourished and hungry people in India has declined by 60 million over the last decade. And other Asian regions are also experiencing declines. India has the second largest population on Earth, but fortunately, even as the population is growing, the amount of food insecurity is falling. Considered a leader in authoritative reporting on malnutrition, the UN State Food Security and Nutrition in the World estimated that the number of undernourished people in India declined by 20%, from 249 million in 2004 to 189 million in 2019. Very, very good news. India embarking on many agricultural projects, and focusing on in-country growth of food products to solve their nutrition crisis. Very good. Additionally, a sea sponge found growing in the coral reefs of Indonesia contains an organic chemical that halts the cellular duplication of cancerous tumors. University researchers also point to its curative power, I can read, for other diseases as well, and are strongly suggesting the cultivation of the sponge to scale so as to boost the production of future drugs. They say the cell prevents replication rather than killing the cell outright, leading to immediate impacts on tumor growth, and then other drugs are useful for killing the remaining tumor cells, or they might die off on their own, denied of production of nutrients from their other created cells. Okay? This is also really cool. They think it might also cure herpes. So for those of you out there who got a little wild in your early 20s, there may be hope for you. A rare sturgeon has been found. In just the span of 2 weeks, juvenile sturgeon of 2 different species, both of which were feared extinct, have been fished accidentally out of a river in the Republic of Georgia. That's the country, not the state. For those of you unfamiliar with the geography of the world, there is a nation called Georgia. The 2 fish, first caught in mid-March, and the second 3 weeks later, represent a glimmer of hope for European sturgeon conservation and appeared after experts had already expressed fears that they may have disappeared forever. Sturgeon are a primeval fish whose evolution dates back hundreds of millions of years. This is very, very important. Very little is known about the sturgeon, but the fact that 2 juveniles, each of similar age, were caught in the span of 2 weeks is extremely exciting, as it could mean they are part of the same brood, and that sturgeon continue to spawn in the Rioni River. Their discovery is also vindication of the work of Flora and Fauna International, whose volunteers operate in the area trying to save the sturgeon populations. Their community outreach goals of educating everyone in the community, from school children to fishmongers, that's an official term, fishmonger, on the plight of the prehistoric fish, was proven worthwhile as both the juvenile sturgeon were caught and then reported to the FFI by the fishermen. Fantastic. This is an exciting story that we have right here. A group of nursing home residents have begun recreating famous album covers. This is really, really fun. As an effort to give them some delight and some fun and increase their morale during the lockdown, they've started recreating famous album covers in image form. They say, as the situation is ongoing, it could be many months before COVID changes for these residents, and the need to keep them happy, entertained, and full of spirit has never been more crucial. The activities director at Sidmar Lodge and Care in Edgware says it has been his job and privilege to provide them with this entertaining venture. Very, very cool. Ladies and gentlemen, that is this week in good news.
The Fists of Arken is the debut novel by author Jack Kiesling. Action, adventure, and personal challenges are the focal point of this immersive book set against a backdrop of war. Deep character development and wide perspectives explore social issues relevant to the real world. Dive in and discover the answer to the age-old question faced by leaders many. What kind of royal will you be? This is a paid advertisement for Jack Kiesling Books and the Fists of Arken.
Oh boy. What's up in Arken? Well, before we talk about what's up in Arken, let's talk about what's up in this comment thread. Okay, we're going to back up a little bit. So going back to G's interview, the number of people commenting on that. Melissa says, I could never be a teacher. Disrespectful kids these days. I'll hit a kid right back. I know, I said the same thing. So a lot of people don't know this. I actually went to college to be a teacher. And it was during college that I figured out I wanted to be a high school history teacher and coach high school football. And unfortunately, it was during college that I discovered that I hate teenagers. I mean, that's a false statement. I don't hate teenagers. But just in that regimented environment, it was very difficult for me not to, And many of you know I have a very colorful vocabulary, so that can be a little difficult to manage. Let's see. The club is awesome. I love what they do. I agree, Chris. Absolutely. His shirt does stand for Virginia Brent. Yeah. I know, the guy is just, he's a walking encyclopedia of amazing advice. I mean, the true definition of what a leader should be. Talking to him was amazing. I interviewed him for 35 minutes, and I mean, it was one of those things where I said 30 minutes. Boom. But we hit 30 and he was still going, and just everything he said was solid gold. And I was like, all right, yeah, like awesome. 2008, how are they not nationwide by now? Well, so they didn't find their true identity and goal as community servants until 2011. So he talked about that in the interview, and unfortunately for time I had to edit some of that origin story out. But they didn't find their true identity and what they were going to be as community partners and as, mentoring and developing young men until 2011. And as he talked about in the interview, they faced a lot of adversity early on, and it took at least 4 years for them to really be recognized by the community as something positive and something that, belongs here. So, obviously my fondest hope is that they expand, because I think they have a very powerful message and they do a lot of really good things for the youth. And I've met a lot of the boys that are part of the club, and they're just amazing young men. So, I hope they expand as well. but these things take time. So, let's see. Yeah, preach, right? Wise people like RuPaul. Yeah. Yep, you're right. We don't know the dates during the COVID pandemic. And VetFest is a week from today. I hope I see you guys at VetFest. It's going to be amazing. Hashtag Dirty Pinecone. The picture of me is so, well, gay. Well, Chris, you are gay. So, enjoy it. Let's see. These new slides are the bee's knees. Thank you, thank you. The story is fishy. Having trouble with words today, Jack? Yes, I am. Kind of disagree with the claim to reading ability today. Me too. They were caught and fried for dinner. They were not, thankfully. I'm a queen. That's kind of what kind of royal I am. Fantastic. Chris is the sushi queen. I love it. All right, so what's going on in Arken? I've not even started on the project yet. So many of you know that I am going to be re-releasing the Fist of Arken with an edit and a newly designed cover. I'm not even going to start on it until after VetFest. I've got so much going on with the redesign of the show that you guys are witnessing right now. And, you know, getting ready for VetFest and everything else going on. So I'm not even going to start working on it until after VetFest, but it'll be coming soon. So that's what's up in Arken. All right, so many of you know that I've been doing a short story contest for several weeks now, where I give you a title and you guys write a short story, and the winner with the most reacts on the post by the end of the week, by the time of the show, will be read aloud on the show. This week's winner was Pamela Desmond, who wrote a short story to the title of The Year Was 2563. Now, I classify this as a short story, but it's pretty long. So I'm not going to read the whole thing because we would be on here for a while, but I am going to read the first bit, okay? The year was 2563. Captain's log, 2910-2563. We have gone to 28 different planets, and still going through the portal to other planets excites me. Today, the plan is to visit F32548, known as Planet F. It is 0.996 light years away. We have found it is an Earth-like planet. It even looks like Earth, just 3 times its size. Commander, are we ready to go? How are the new junior officers? I ask. Everyone is ready. The junior officers are excited and nervous. I don't blame them since it's their first time, he responded. Make sure they know they need to have a level head and stay calm. We need to be alert because anything can happen, as we both know, I replied, a little worried. It's 0555 and we need to move a bit faster. We need to be on the platform by 0600. It's too bad the other junior officers were compromised by the last planet we were on. I did tell them not to touch the floating glowing balls. Now they seem to have some kind of infection. First Officer Jones, do you have the camera equipped? I asked. Yes, Captain, Jones said with a shake in his voice. Okay, let's proceed into the portal. Good luck, and Godspeed. I said a little annoyed because I have to stay behind. Honestly, not that annoyed, though. I need to take care of my other junior officers and keep an eye on them. As the group proceeds through the portal, they come upon the planet F. We can see on the screens the vibrant colors. It looks as if they walked onto Earth. We can see they are on the mountains. As they proceed to the edge, we can tell there are structures in the distance. Captain, looks like there are people down there, says the commander. Proceed with caution. I instructed with seriousness in my voice. As they made their way down the mountain, we noticed these peoples didn't look like humans. We started noticing there was something long behind them. Looks like a tail. They had 2 big teeth coming out of their mouths. Are those ears on their heads? I questioned. Yes, Captain. Looks like they're part cat or something, responded the commander. Sir, they remind me of saber-toothed tigers. Look at their faces and the fur on their body. Maybe they're an advanced version of them, says one of the junior officers. Can't believe this will be the first encounter with another species. We need to proceed with extreme caution. Stay hidden. I'm gearing up to accompany you, I instructed while getting my gear on and ready to go. The scientists have said the air is reading normal. Its levels are equal to Earth's. We are safe to breathe it. I'm on my way. Stay hidden, I demanded, worried they would be spotted considering they were just outside of the town. As I come upon their location, I see small kid-like beings playing with toys. Some were even playing catch. I can see a big building in the distance. Looks like there might be someone important that lives there. As I walk up to the commander, we hear what sounds like a twig breaking behind us. We are now surrounded by these beings with weapons pointed at us. We put our hands up and proceed to face them while kneeling. They're speaking a different language. They seem to be meowing, growling, and hissing at us. We aren't sure what they are saying, but we figured they might want us to follow them considering they caught us. They gestured to us to stand by pointing their weapons up and then back at us. We stand and they start to push us forward. We are now walking toward the building I saw earlier. We enter, and sitting in front of us in a huge chair is a being much bigger than the others. It starts to growl and hiss at us. I'm sorry, we don't understand, I said, knowing they won't understand. Oh, let me guess, you're from Earth. My name is King Claw Meow, hiss growl, but you may call me King C. We are Semper Fideliusins. Why have you come to our planet? He said with an irritation in his voice. Well, King C, we are explorers. Explorers. We didn't know this planet was habitated by someone. How do you know we are from Earth? Also, how do you know how to speak our language? I asked. We have explored as well. We have gone many distances and found your planet. We visited once and realized you were not very welcoming to people like us. We learned the language by monitoring satellite communications. Since you are here, you can help us with the war between us and the Noperopians, he said with a look that worried me. Who are the Noperopians? And why are you at war with them? I asked. We have been at war with them for many generations. My great-great-grandfather had some cattle. He noticed one day that there were 4 missing. When he went to look for them, he saw them slaughtered on the edge of his property. The Noperopians that lived beside him was covered in blood. He claimed he tried to help stop the bleeding, but the marks on the cattle matched the same marks a Noperopian would leave. The Noperopians looked similar to the snakes on your planet. They have a snake-like body from their hips down and a humanoid up top, he explained. I wondered if we could help solve this conflict instead of helping with the fight. This seems very silly to fight over something so simple. Why start a war over something like this? There might be more to this story than we are being told. I need to talk to the Noperopians. For the remainder of this short story, visit jackkiesling.com sometime this evening. It'll be posted there. A really, really cool story. What was awesome and I loved about this story was the characters were inspired by a group of people that I work with in our veterans PTSD and depression outreach. So it's really cool. Everybody has screen names and personas and stuff, and a lot of the characters were inspired by that. And it's just super, super cool to read. All right. Right? Saber has his own planet. I can't even with a floating glowing ball. Oh, goodness. You're watching me in full 1080p on a 60-inch television. I'm pretty ugly up close, dude. Dude, you should make an Audible for your books. I would listen and probably not fall asleep. I've thought about it, but the time investment in making Audibles is a lot. And I would need better recording, technology and not have the dogs barking and bouncing around and doing stupid stuff. With no Ropians, more like he is doomed. Yeah, for sure. That was the secret. Now we gotta wipe all your memories and eat the author. Yeah, okay. I fully expect a musical adaptation of this short story. One angry cat sensation. All of the nope ropes we eat. That's fantastic. All right. So thank you very much for Pamela for writing that story. Visit jackkiesling.com later on this evening, and you will see the story in its entirety, unedited, as it was written by the original author, posted on the website. Now for these words from your local station. Just kidding. There's no commercial. I know you guys are like, a third commercial, come on. All right, let's have some fun. What you're about to see is something very, very exciting. We are adding a new segment to the show where we will share a talent presented by one of you. This is Melisa, and she is an aspiring singer-songwriter, and she recorded this video for an audition for one of the very famous, singing song shows out there, The Voice, and she so kindly allowed us to share it today. So, let's have a look and listen.
I did my best, it wasn't much. I couldn't feel, so I tried to touch. I've told the truth, I didn't come to fool ya. And even though it all went wrong, I'll stand before the Lord of Song with nothing on my tongue but hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
I gotta work on that transition. I didn't know what to do because it was gonna autoplay another video, and I was like kind of freaking out. And yeah, now it's like autoplaying in my ear. I gotta work on that transition. You gotta give me a break on that one. But an amazing performance. I really like that. She's got an incredible voice. Yeah, those pipes, right? Yeah. So yeah, I mean. So the way this is going to work moving forward, hold on just a second. There we go. So, see, now we have all kinds of problems. Okay. Anyway, so the way this is going to work moving forward, and hopefully Melisa will send us another video, and I will link her in the comments so you can tell her how amazing she is. Anyway, the way this will work moving forward is you'll send me videos. Anyone who wants to demonstrate their talent, as long as it's not sexually explicit or violent in nature, has to be appropriate. Okay, anyone can send us their talents. We'll put it up on screen. I will not watch the videos on the front side. Now, this one I have seen on the front side. Melisa posted it on one of the veterans groups that I'm in. She is a veteran herself. And I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to feature this on my show for the first, talent segment. It was awesome. And so in the future, I'm not going to watch the videos on the front side. I have an independent panel who is going to review the videos to make sure that they're appropriate and select which one will be played on the show. And then we'll get, live responses from people in the comments, and be a really good opportunity to kind of get your face out there and get your talent out there. And so for Melisa, obviously an incredible singer, right? Great sound, incredible range, right, Brent? Yeah, just very, very talented singer. So we want to give her some support and help her kind of get out there and get her music career kicked off. As you know, I'm pretty good friends with A-Ruff, who is a singer-songwriter in her own right. Her career's taken off. She just finished her first live tour and headed back home. Got home, I believe, just in time to celebrate her anniversary with her husband. So her career really starting to blossom, and I would love to see that happen for Melisa as well. So Melisa, thank you so much for sharing that talent with us. I firmly believe you're an incredible singer, and I could not imagine great things are not in store for you. Yes, Ryan, if you want to make a video of yourself doing the truffle shuffle, yeah, send it in. I can't promise you the independent panelists will select it to be on the show, but we'll do our best, right? All right. Anyway, so back to this, and you get to hear the sound effects again. Yeah, so the end of the world is still here, right? All across the country, the last couple of weeks, the last week, retailers have been announcing it is now mandatory to wear a mask coming into their places of business. And of course, naturally, people are freaking out and saying it's an invasion of privacy and blah, 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 blah. But here's the thing. It's not a problem for, freedom. And the American way for private businesses to require things in their business, right? So, for example, a lot of businesses have no shirt, no shoes, no purchase. You can't be here without wearing clothes. And some would say, well, I don't like to wear a shirt, and it's wrong that I would have to wear one in your establishment. Well, that sucks for you because it's a private business. And they get to make their own rules, right? And so there's also this cool thing in the United States where businesses have the right to refuse service to anybody, So, we've seen that abused a few times, but the reality of it is these retailers and the management staff behind these retailers believe that you wearing a mask and anyone coming into their business wearing a mask protects their employees and protects all of the rest of their patrons. So they've made it mandatory to do it. People are up in arms about that, but we've talked about masks on the show before. It's really, guys, it's not that big a deal. And I know, people are like, oh, I can't breathe with a mask on. Really? Really? Okay, so let's think about this for a second. In the military, most of us, except the Air Force, no, the Air Force does too, we get trained in a thing called MOP, right? So MOP is the chemical and radioactive protective gear that we have to wear, and there are multiple different levels of MOP. All of the levels of MOP, except MOP 0, require you wear a gas mask. Now let's talk about the difference between a military-issue gas mask and the little fabric thing you wear over your face when you go out in public in the world. Okay, military-issue gas mask covers whole face, clear lens that you can see through, big carbon canister hanging off the side of it. That thing limits the amount of air that you can draw into it simply by the fact that it has multiple layers of filtration that the air has to pass through. Okay, you can't take it off. It even has a little drinking straw built in that you plug this tube into your canteen so you can drink water. They're a metric pain in the butt. But everyone who ever served in the military has at least had to experience wearing gas masks. Most of us that were in the Army, like myself, or the Marine Corps, like a lot of you guys that watch this show, have experienced having simulated combat operations wearing the gas mask and all of the mop gear, like the rubber suit and that whole terribleness, right? So we've learned that you are very capable of running and shooting and fighting and doing all the things that you need to do while wearing a gas mask, which is far more restrictive to your breathing than a cloth mask, right? And we're fully capable of doing that. Is it comfortable? No, it's not. It's hot. You feel constantly like you can't breathe, but you can. See, your brain is telling you you can't breathe because you're not getting the normal airflow that you normally get. So, your brain wants you to fix the situation, but you're fully capable of fighting and running and doing all the things that you have to do wearing that gas mask. So if we're capable of doing all of those things wearing a gas mask, you are definitely capable of sitting on your mall cart or pushing your little shopping buggy around wearing a fabric mask over your face, all right? Not only that, but masks are like the new fashion trend, right? So many of you know that my friend Derek owns Zero Fucks Productions, and he is making some incredible masks. He made the missing murdered Indigenous women's mask that I've been wearing nonstop and posting pictures of on Instagram and all that stuff. He just released a new design for it that's incredible, and I'll share it on my page after the show. But like, it's an opportunity to show people what you care about and to have some like fun fashion sense and stuff like that. And this is a waning thing, guys. Like, this ain't gonna last forever. COVID's not gonna last forever. I know everybody's like, oh my God, we've been in COVID forever, but we haven't, right? This thing just started in February. We're in July. Hasn't even gone a full year. Okay? So the last time we had a major epidemic in the United States, it lasted 2.5 years. That was the influenza pandemic in 1918, in that ballpark of time frame. Okay? So here's the thing. 2.5 years. And that was like a major event that had a very high lethality rate by comparison to COVID. Permanent damage to people's lungs and brain tissue and a whole bunch of other stuff due to that pandemic. It was a much bigger deal. This isn't going to last as long, okay? Give it a year and a half, and all of this COVID stuff will be just a gnarly memory, right? Maybe even less if they come up with a vaccine like they keep saying that they're working on, right? So, was that Rex taking over your body? Maybe. Who knows? He is a part of me. Anyway, so just settle down, okay? The mask is a fleeting thing. You only get one opportunity to live today, so live today like you're not worried about it, right? Like Lewis was talking about on the show before, be so in love with you that nothing can shake that foundation of who you are. Somebody asking you to wear a mask for the protection of everybody else is not going to shake the foundation of who you are if you're confident and in control of yourself. Just saying, okay? I don't really want to talk about that anymore. We've been in this thing since February and people still refuse to get on board, but it's about taking care of each other. It's not a hard concept, all right? Cheesy bleezy. All right, let's take a look at some comments here. Comments. See, I can sing too. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I'm not going to do that to you guys. It's disgraceful. I, unlike Melissa, have not been endowed with an amazing set of pipes, so I will not be singing for you. Brent wants Ryan to do the electric boogaloo. I'm in it. Wearing a mask inside around others is just considerate. Plus, have y'all really looked at a Walmart? We should be wearing mop gear in there before this all started anyways. They're gross. Dude, I'm with you, right? I'm with you. A lot of the public places that we go are disgusting. Just disgusting. And it's not the fault of the people that work there. It's the fault of the slovenly customers be rubbing themselves all over everything. Yeah. Okay. Everybody has been marching toward death since the moment they were born. Absolutely. And there is a fantastic song by O Sleeper that is about that very thing. Yeah. Oh, and From Ashes to New put out a killer song called Every Second I'm Alive featuring Eva Under Fire that is about that very thing. That's unbelievable. Ryan Saber says he's immortal because his DD-214 says he doesn't march anymore. Let's see. It means the experimental drugs have been working. Sure, yeah. Ryan says he will not settle down. But I want to have my Queen Karen moment and be famous. Hey, look, you do you, boo-boo. Okay? I'm not judging anybody. I'm not stopping you from your Queen Karen moment. You do what you're gonna do. All right? All right. Enough of this COVID nonsense. Let's go to my favorite segment of the show. Thank you. You get your applause. The applause is not necessary, but I really appreciate it. All right. What do you guys want to talk about? We've been online for 47 minutes. There are 9 of you on the show. Let's talk about some stuff. Post your questions in the chat. I'll answer any question you ask as long as it's not like too crazy, right? You can get pretty crazy with it, but don't go like full blown nuts on me. You want to talk to my manager? She's at work. Yeah, she's at work. I don't know what to do. I can't help you. Okay. Let's see. What do you want to talk about? I don't know who's still on. There are 10 of you on now. I don't know who's still on, but man, Melisa, I would love to know if you're still on. Why you picked that song and what your plan is next. Like, what are you doing next to get your singing career started? Because I know you got to be doing something, right? Like, you got too good of a voice to not be working on it. So if you're still in the comments, hit us up with that. For the rest of you, ask me questions. I will not go full blown nuts on you. Thank you. That's gross. Are you fully prepared for the eventuality societal? Wait, hold on. Are you fully prepared for the eventually societal impact the books you author will have on future generations? No. I don't know how you could prepare for something like that, right? So I think it's very interesting. So Tolkien talked about, you know, the impact of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and, you know, the fan base and just, you know, people quoting it and stuff like that. And he said that eventually, like, I'm tracking Sabretooth. And he talked about how he wasn't prepared for it to be as well received as it was. And I mean, many of you know The Hobbit was, or The Lord of the Rings, one of them was originally written as letters to his son who was in the army fighting in the war. And so, like, he didn't expect for it to become anything, right? And I think a lot of authors are like that. And like J.K. Rowling has certainly expressed, you know, kind of some surprise over the social impact of the Harry Potter series and never expecting that some of those things would become such a big deal in the world. But here's the thing with my books, man. I don't know how people are going to receive them. I don't know what, you know, lessons people are going to take from them. I mean, I don't know, right? Like, I mean, Catcher in the Rye prompts an assassination attempt on President Reagan. Like, you just don't know, you know. So there's no way to be prepared for the unknown. There are certainly things that I put into the books because I want it to cause a social reaction. You know, a lot of the things that I do about, you know, racial equality and, you know, gender equality and sexual orientations being viewed as not anything other than just a part of a person's character and no detractor to what they're capable of, and, you know, stuff like that. I do that intentionally because I want my readers and people who experience the books, and hopefully eventually if they become movies or TV shows, to see that equality and that image of the world and you know, as something positive and desirable. So, you know, there are definitely things that I plug into it that I want people to react to and I want people to think about, but I have no way of knowing if that message will ever be received unless someone tells me that it has been, and nobody's ever communicated that with me to this point. So, I mean, I don't know. I can't prepare for things that I can't see, but I think that's a really interesting question. Let's see. Nobody got time for what? Anyway, how's the yard coming along? Yeah, it's going really well. I have a beautiful fire pit built now, and built an awesome gate. We got the fence up on the backyard. We're not going to do the fence on the front yard until next year. Yeah, and it's awesome. I love it. I love my house. I love my yard. I live in the forest, basically, so I'm like surrounded by trees, and like, so it's kind of xeriscaped. Like, I don't have a lawn. I just have like trees. But I like it. I like it a lot. Will there be a 1-week hiatus for the Junkyard, or will you be doing a special edition next week? No, we'll be on hiatus. So you noticed probably when we were in the short story section that I did not post a title for next week's short story contest, and I will not be giving one out. I'll give one out in post. Like, I'll post it on the page next week. You know, so that way, you know, everybody has like that 1-week time frame and it's consistent. But there will not be a Jack's Junkyard next week. I will be at Vet Fest in Colorado Springs, Colorado. We are talking about doing some live streams and stuff like that with the whole group of us, and that's awesome. Hopefully that comes to pass. You know, but yeah, there's just no way. The amount of just hardware that I need to be able to run this show, it would cost me way too much to try to transport it out there and then to try to set it up in a hotel room and stuff like that. So it wouldn't be feasible. And, you know, yeah, I'm just not doing that. So, and we've all learned the lesson about, you know, trying to run this show and my technology off my laptop. It just doesn't work. So, yeah. I learned I need more stabby things from Fist of Arken. That's awesome, man. I'm very glad that TFOA taught you that you need to buy more stabby things. I think you'll be happy with the cover redesign. Okay. What advice would you give to someone who wants to write an autobiography? I don't know. I've never written an autobiography. I don't know. That's a genre of writing that I have no involvement in. You know, I would never write an autobiography about myself because my life is just one series of stupid decision after another, leading to about 4 years ago when I met my wife, and everything's been daisies and roses since then primarily. But yeah, I have no interest in writing an autobiography, so I've never really thought about it. But I mean, I can give you some general advice for books, writing period. And I think it all starts with, a solid outline. You've got to have plot outlines. So The Fist of Arken was free written, and what I mean by that is I did not plot outline that book. I literally sat down on my computer and started typing the first sentence of the book and type until I got to the end. And what that caused was about 6 months of agonizing rewrites and deleting entire paragraphs and, just a metric pain in the butt. And at the end of it, it produced a choppy novel, right? So, which is why I'm doing a re-edition of it. So, I think it's one of those things that you've got to start with a plot outline. And I don't really care what the subject matter is, whether you're writing a nonfiction history piece or an autobiography or anything like that. You've got to start with a plot outline, and your plot outline maybe not detailed down to this chapter is going to feature this event, but what are the major events that you're going to focus on? What are the key components? And then what are the motivators? So motivators is very, very important. It's something I put in the plot outlines for everything that I do, now moving forward after learning lessons from TFOA. So, and that motivator is what makes that decision, impactful, what makes it matter, why are we making that decision, what is pushing us towards that objective or whatever the case may be, what are we trying to get out of it, all of those things. And even in, real world, when you're writing an autobiography about things that you've already experienced and things you've already done, that motivation and those motivators behind those decisions and behind those circumstances is going to be extremely important for the reader to be able to get emotionally and intellectually invested in what you're talking about. Without that, it's just, a series of events that don't matter, right? So, like Lemony Snicket's series of unfortunate events. If it's not for those motivators, there's no reason why any of those events matter. So I would suggest the place you've absolutely got to start is with that. Hey, Brenda, thanks for coming on, is with that outline and detailing out those motivators for the major event. Bring me a book for you to autograph for me? What are you talking about? But to where? Yeah, so that would be my thought process. And after that, like once you have that outline, write the book. There's always excuses and reasons why we're not going to start writing the book, but ultimately it's just about putting that first sentence down. Just like Melisa with her talent performance earlier, right? There are a lot of people out there that can sing, but they're terrified to record themselves or to send that recording out somewhere, right? So it all starts with that first step, and that first step is just write the book. Do the outline, write the book, okay? Are you coming to VetFest? I'm absolutely coming to VetFest. I'm coming to VetFest. Everybody knows I'm coming to VetFest. That's why we'll write the biography for you. Oh, Lord. So it's funny because Ryan Desmond reposted my very first Jack's Junkyard show last week, and some people were watching it and commenting on it and stuff. It was pretty cool. And I was watching it, and I was like, oh my God, these first shows were absolutely horrible. Like, they were terrible. But then I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, just imagine, 50, 60 years from now, I'm old AF, and, I don't know, maybe my great-grandkids or something are like, let's learn about great-granddad Jack. And the shows are basically what amounts to my autobiography, because you can see so much about my life in these things. It's pretty interesting. With lots of stabby things and sushi and nope ropes. Oh, I understand. So Brenda lives in the same state as me. We're separated by a couple hours drive time. So I got confused. I'm not a very smart person, Brenda. So I will have copies of The Fist of Arken for sale at VetFest and copies of A Thin Red Line for sale at VetFest as well. A Thin Red Line will be making its world premiere at VetFest. And so copies will be on sale there, autographed for $15 each. Pretty cool. You're too sexy for your beard cut. Okay. All right, what other questions do you guys have? 57 minutes. We'll keep it going. Try to hang out for another 10 minutes or so. So what do you guys want to talk about? What do you want to know? Those are some pretty awesome questions coming across from Pamela. She's showing you guys up in the question department. Just saying. Yeah. We live an hour apart. Oh, you're driving to Colorado to meet me in person. That's funny. Yeah, an hour apart. I am a very busy human being, all right? I'm just gonna throw that out there. But it is pretty funny. We live an hour apart, and you're going to Colorado, like across the country. You're driving to Colorado? Good God, woman, that's like 2 days. Are you crazy? Actually, I thought about driving, but due to work schedules and everything else going on, I gotta go there and back like real fast. So $15 make you holla. Yeah. JKBATRL. Jack Hiesling books a Thin Red Line hype. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. You know, so it is the thing that happens, right? Like a thin red line is a fairly common statement. There are a number of books out there titled Thin Red Line or The Thin Red Line. I have yet to find one titled A Thin Red Line. So ATRL. Fun stuff. Yeah, definitely, Brenda. We're both crazy busy people. I'm going to punch my dog in the face. That's a lie. I don't abuse animals, but you get the sentiment. $5 footlong. There are 11 of you on. Somebody's got to have a question for me. Like, come on, hit me. That cannot be a hashtag, Chris. Jack's junk is dope. Really? If you could tell your younger self one thing, what would it be? You're right. That is a deep question. You know, it's actually something I've thought about a lot. Especially after my dad died, I started thinking about that a lot. I don't know why. But if I could tell myself one thing, you know, my younger self, it would be actually something that Lewis said that you guys saw in the interview is you love yourself. So during the interview, I commented to Lewis that it took me 30 years to figure out how to love myself, and that was even a thing, right? So I spent the vast majority of my teenage years and my early adult life actively hiding who I am, right? And hiding behind this veil, and making myself into the image of what everybody around me kind of wanted me to be, or what I felt pressured that they wanted me to be. And because of that, I didn't enjoy my life. Like I didn't enjoy my life. And I think that's the biggest waste of a life, is when you don't enjoy it, right? So if I could go back and tell myself one piece of advice, it would be, stop it. Don't let the dog lick you in the middle of a live show, and, you know, and love yourself. Because I truly believe that once I hit my 30s, and, you know, it wasn't even about turning 30, but it was somewhere in the ballpark of like 29, 30, somewhere in there, when it finally clicked in my head that I just absolutely hated the life that I built for myself, and I hated the relationships I built with people, and I hated the way I treated people, and I hated the way people treated me, and I hated it, and I felt like I couldn't be honest with anybody, because if I was honest with people, then they would know that the image I had presented of myself was wrong, and it was a lie, and I hated it, and I was miserable with my life. And as soon as I realized that my life sucked, literally what I did is I crammed everything I owned into my Honda Prelude, and I drove to Denver. I just moved to Denver, right? You know, and I started over. And when I started over, I said, I'm not going to do it that way this time. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be me. You know, so I grew my hair out crazy long and started getting piercings and, you know, more tattoos and just hair colors and doing all the things, just going nuts, right? And just doing all the things that I wanted to do, and living the life that I wanted to live. And as soon as I did that, I really fell in love with the life that I built, and I fell in love with the guy that I am, you know. And in that life, I found compassion that I hadn't really experienced to that level before. And I found understanding for people who are drastically different than what I had previously viewed as the way to live, you know. And if I had lived that way from the start, my life would have been so much more positive, and I would have had so many more meaningful friendships and relationships. I had amazing friends, like men and women who were just incredible, and those friendships are gone now because of who I chose to be when I was younger. Because that's the thing about living a lie, is you can only live a lie for so long before everybody starts to see it. Right? So be in love with yourself and live your truth. Don't live anybody else's truth. Don't try to make yourself into anybody else's image of who you should be. But love yourself and live that truth. Once I figured that out, man, my life is just so much more fun. I met my wife. I fell in love with my wife. She fell in love with the real version of me, so I don't ever have to hide anything from her. Like, we have literally no secrets in our relationship. Like, it's awesome, you know, and all of it comes from that decision. So that would be what I would have to say. Okay. Awesome question. Thank you for that. That's mean. I only do that to my cats. What? Are you giving Chris a lap dance or letting him lick you? None of the above. None of the above. Okay, I've already told you guys I got some like physical space boundary issues and stuff. Like, people laugh at me because like, so like the very first fan photo that I ever took with a fan, like this guy, you know, like his wife had bought my book and like stuff, and then he wound up in the same place as me, and he was like, oh my god, you're Jack Kiesling, blah blah blah, and I got to sign the book and it was dope, and then you want to take a picture with me, and so like we took a picture, and I did this thing where it totally looks like my arm is around him and I'm not touching him, and like he put his arm across my shoulders and I was just kind of like like he touched me and I was just kind of like you know, and it's not about him. Like, he's an awesome dude, like he's a really cool guy, he's funny, we have a lot in common, this is a neat guy, but I got a thing, you know what I mean? I got a thing. That is what it is. How mad do you think he'd be if we get the books and page hyperlinked to that hashtag? Pretty mad. Pretty mad. It's not a question, but oh my god, Mike, congratulations. Dude, congratulations. That's amazing. So Mike and his wife Lacey are pregnant with their second kid, and they found out the gender, did the gender reveal today, and they live in Colorado, so I didn't get to see that. Oh my gosh, that's amazing, guys. Congratulations. So that'll be their second daughter. Amazing. Their first daughter is my sacred buddy. She was born on my birthday. Her name's Kinsley, and she's just everything that a little girl should be. She's super smart, super tough, adventurous, like just awesome. Kid's amazing. I fell in love with a guy. Yeah, lots of people do that. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Anyway, one more question. Somebody hit me. One more question. Pamela is the only one asking like serious questions, so somebody's got to step up. All right. Lacey is on too. Hey, and Josh Jones is on. What's up, Josh Jones? Haven't seen your face in a long time. Haven't seen your face around these parts in a long time. Where you been, you old bastard? Yeah, somebody asked me a question. Come on. Oh shit. Knocking all my stuff over on my desk. I was gonna sit here and like pretend I'm in a semi-truck with an air ride chair. Hit me, baby, one more time. Oh my goodness. What was I doing the other? So I was doing a live show for my Veterans PTSD outreach yesterday, and I don't know how, but I got stuck singing. I think it's a Backstreet Boys song in the voice of the character that I do for that show. It was just ridiculous. What's the next model idea? I don't know, man. I know, like, we have the hobby in common and stuff, and it's super cool seeing the pictures of everything that you're doing, but bro, I am so freaking busy. I haven't even thought about building a model in probably like 6 months. Like, it sucks, right? Because like where my desk is right now, I'm sitting here staring at my model rack, like that has the majority of my kits and stuff on it. But I've been so freaking busy for the last 6 months. Like, literally, I thought after TFOA published that I would, you know, have some downtime. But the last like 9 months had been insane. So like, I mean, a lot of you guys know my dad died in October, and there was a lot of stuff involved with that, and then like work went crazy and COVID started, and I was trying to write a thin red line the whole time. It's just absolutely nuts. Yeah, and I would love to be able to work on a model. I was just talking to my wife about that today, actually. Like, I need to like change some stuff up on my desk so I have room, but man, I would love to work on something, but I don't have time. I'm still working like 14-hour days, and yeah. And like, I don't know if you guys know this, but I started working on building this show today, like editing G's interview and building the show at 8:30 this morning, and I was still a half an hour late. And a lot of that's because I had new slides and new scenes involved, but like, there's a lot of work that goes into this show. So like, god damn, like, you're keeping me alive, man. You keep sending me pictures of stuff you're working on, and it's like, at least I can kind of be connected to the hobby. Would you want a video game or a movie for Arken first? A movie. Well, actually, that's an interesting question. I hadn't really thought about that before. My knee jerk would be a movie because my thought process would be communicate the emotional depth. But a video game, okay, but here's the thing. I don't think there's enough in the book to make a video game. It'd be too short. Like nowadays, video games are huge, right? They're massive open worlds and like, tons and tons of stuff going on. And I don't think it's big enough for a game. I think maybe once, the Tears of Arken comes out, and if I did a third novel, I think you could make one pretty solid video game out of like the 3 books. But I just don't think there's enough in it for a video game. Tony wants to know what color my underwear is. Well, tell Tony, it's red, by the way. And tell Tony that when he reaches out to me to talk about this wedding of his I'm supposed to be officiating, maybe we can have conversations about other topics. But until then, he's dead to me. Perfect dungeon crawler game. I'm gonna be honest with you, Saber. I don't know what a dungeon crawler game is. I'm sorry. Guys, my video gaming is not very in-depth because, as I said, I don't have a ton of time. So there's really only a few games that I play. I love the Fallout series. I play all the Fallout games. I love them. I love them. I love them. Fallout 76 is even growing on me. Yeah, so Fallout is like my main jam. I love Assassin's Creed, but I primarily only play 3 and 4. I just started playing 3 again, but I play in like 30-minute increments when I have time. I love the Borderlands series. My wife and I play it co-op together. Absolutely love that series. And I love Forza Motorsport. And I kind of dabble in Ace Combat. But other than that, man, I don't really... Well, and I play Call of Duty, but I don't play online with everybody else. Like, we use it more as a party game than anything else. We play, tournaments and shit. So I don't really play that many video games. It was a Tony Salvatore question. Yeah, I figured. There's only one Tony that matters in that circle. Thongs or boxers? Definitely boxers, dude. I've never worn a thong, never gonna. It's not a thing. Those are coming back into popularity like you wouldn't believe. Cool. Did I send the red over the gold on the Sunbeam Tiger? I don't think so. Send it again. Does your bra match your underwear? Yes. Always. AJ! Hey, what's up, AJ? Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Jones, United States Marine. Yeah. Very, very cool. Huh. Fun. Yeah. All right, let's do one more. Just one last question, and then we're going to call it quits for the day. Somebody hit me with something good. Hit me with your best shot. Why don't you hit me with your best shot? Hit me with your best shot. Go away. So the wedding is on. I think we finally found a place. Guns up, fins up. Outstanding. Well, you gotta message me dates and stuff, man. We need to start coordinating that crap, because yeah, it's been a hell of a year, man. So yeah. Anyway, and I'm interviewing for a new job right now. I got recruited by a humongous company to be an internal fraud investigator, so I'm in the interview process for that right now. It's just crazy. Yeah. I'll ask you stuff next week. Come on, man. What composer should write the score for your books should they become audiobooks? Oh, man. Damn, that's a great question. Well, I mean, so 2 different answers for that, right? So A Thin Red Line, I basically have a soundtrack for that book. Because, so, like, each character has their own kind of artist that I listen to while I'm working that character, so that I can, kind of get into the right frame of mind for that character and their perspective and their dialogue. But because ATRL is set in a modern world, I was able to use a lot of modern music for it. And so, like, it basically has its own soundtrack. So I don't know that it necessarily needs a composer so much as someone to audio edit, samplings of various different, metal and rap songs. So, I mean, that could be pretty freaking cool. As for the Fist of Arken, that's a tough question, because it would have to be something epic, like something just like almost Lord of the Rings-esque, but not quite as like, you know what I mean? Yeah, but something in that vein, you know what I mean? Like, if you could combine the soundtracks and like the feeling of the soundtracks from like the Lord of the Rings with Jurassic Park, like just like Lord of the Rings, but darker and a little heavier, I think would be cool. What character's soundtrack is Nickelback? I can answer that for you. In A Thin Red Line, there is a character in the very beginning of the book who gets killed like super fast because I hate Nickelback. I hate Nickelback. Every week you make me talk about Nickelback. I hate Nickelback. Should Mel Brooks write Fists of Arken movie or your next book? None of the above. Pretty sure Mel Brooks is dead. I love Mel Brooks movies. Blazing Saddles is one of the greatest movies ever made. No question about that. Like, Blazing Saddles is just absolutely groundbreaking film. If more people watched Blazing Saddles, we wouldn't have so many problems with racism in this country. I'm just saying. Anyway, I know you love Nickelback, Tiffy, and that is okay. I love you from the bottom of my tiny heart. Somewhere in my heart is a panel with the name Tiffers inscribed on it because you own a place in my heart. But I still fucking hate Nickelback, and that is never going to change. I hate them. They're generic AF, and his voice is whiny and gross. I don't do it. But I also don't listen to rock anyway. I listen to metal. Like, I listen to metalcore and rap, and that's pretty much it. Right? Except Danny Kaye. I listen to Danny Kaye, because he's amazing. And Mel Torme. But other than that, and Taylor Swift. I listen to all the Taylor Swift. Well, that's not true. Her first 2 albums are trash. Right? Trash. And just so you know, so my wife and I have weird conversations all the time, right? We talk about all kinds of weird stuff. And so a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about like what happens if I become famous and we get to meet all my celebrity idols and shit. And so then I was thinking about it and I was like, man, if I ever meet Taylor Swift, I'm telling her first 2 albums are trash. Like, I'm telling her that. I don't give a fuck. Nickelback equals Field Chow. I disagree because I like Field Chow way more than I like Nickelback. Just saying. All right. On that note, we've been on for 1 hour and 15 minutes. I just want to thank you guys all so much for being a part of the show. It was a fun run today. I hope you enjoyed the new scenes, the new slides. If you know anybody out there that has a talent that they want to get out into the world, have them email it to me. Any talent submissions can be sent to jackkeeslingbooks@gmail.com. They can also message me on the page or message my personal profile. Whatever. I want to showcase people's stuff, okay? No show next weekend, all right? No show next weekend. I will be on location at VetFest 2020 in Colorado Springs, Colorado. If you're going to be there, I'm looking forward to meeting you. If you're not going to be there, it sucks to suck, all right? We'll be back the week after that. You guys be safe. Love on each other. Take care of each other. Love yourself. Love yourself, all right? Inject positive energy into yourself and build a better version of you, all right? All the love. I'm out.
Don't miss your opportunity to meet Jack Kiesling in person, in public, in a place that's verifiable to have actually happened. Jack Kiesling will be appearing at the 2nd annual Disgruntled Vet Fest at Sunshine Studios Live on July 25th. He'll be there with new copies of his new release book, A Thin Red Line. He'll also be there with copies of The Fist of Arken. He'll be selling these books with his signature in them. And word has it he'll be doing a stand-up comedy special as well. Who knows? Maybe a woman will run through and distribute free candy to all the children. Maybe there will be alcoholic beverages. Who knows? You have to go to find out.